Battlefield 6 may be the Battlefield that we have been praying for. Hello everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and last week I got to go hands-on with Battlefield 6 on the PS5, so today I'm going to break down my thoughts in this upcoming shooter. So this game, it feels like a big deal for EA. After a couple of mishires, depending on who you ask, I personally quite like pretty much all of the Battlefield games at this point. Battlefield 6 though definitely feels like a course correction for more of what people have been asking for, which is a modern military setting, very akin to Battlefield 3 and 4. It's got a full campaign coming back, Battlefield Portal is coming back, bigger and better than ever, and it's even teasing Firestorm 2, which I never thought I'd ever hear from again. But my hands-on time with the game pertained to the multiplayer, where I played a handful of modes across a number of maps, including Conquest, Squad Deathmatch, and Domination. So first and foremost, I have to say, gameplay-wise, this feels leagues better. It's much more tactile and weighty. The haptics on the DualSense controller are phenomenal when it comes to like the explosive, just like the rumble of the haptics. I can't say I noticed too much on the actual adaptive triggers. Maybe I just wasn't kind of logging it in my head, but I definitely, the haptics themselves were really cool. To me, when I first played the game though, the gameplay reminded me quite a lot of my first time playing Battlefield 3, and I'm sure it feels nothing like that now, with 15 years of a difference or whatever it is, but the gameplay felt weighty, the traversal was really smooth. My only complaint really with the traversal was that some ledges seemed like you should be able to grab them and you couldn't. Overall, this felt a lot more grounded. There is a slide, but it's not like 2042 where you would slide about 10 foot. And it actually has got like the sort of dynamic movement that you had, I remember at least from Battlefield 5, where you can lie on your back and sort of shuffle backwards like that. And it led to a very sort of tactical feel to the movement in the game. And that was helped even more with the handling of the weapons. For one, the weapons all feel unique to their own. Like I said, they've got a punch to them. I tried basically the default of the assault rifle, the SMG, the LMG, the marksman rifle, and yeah, they each had their own feel to them. I really enjoyed that aspect. But there's also new elements to this game, like a lean into corners or on ledges, very similar to Modern Warfare 2019. But again, all of these tiny little changes and the more grounded feel made the actual matches just feel so much more tactical and immersive. I really enjoyed it from that perspective. Now the maps are really cool designs. I mean, they look gorgeous. This game looks phenomenal, and I was playing on base PS5, so I can't wait to see how things look on the PS5 Pro as well. The maps had that nice sort of feel to them where they didn't feel like arena-styled maps that were designed for you to get into fights, but they naturally had the choke points, the sniper valleys, all of those sort of like fan favorite areas where like you just love getting into big skirmishes at this particular point. I felt like there was a lot of potential for those, especially in maps like Cairo, which was really dense feeling. But of course, what's sort of elevating the maps as well is this destruction, and destruction was an interesting element of Battlefield 6. If you're just looking at it from the trailers and the gameplay, it's super impressive looking, very cinematic, very immersive, but I would say that the destruction was probably my biggest letdown of Battlefield 6. Obviously, Battlefield has sort of led the charge for destruction for a long time, but now we have games like the Finals, and it has fully dynamic, entirely destructible environments, and it makes each match feel very unique in that way. With Battlefield 6, not every area is destructible, and they're only destructible in certain ways. Like you can bring the face of a building down, you can shoot your way through floors and down the way or up the way in certain walls. But not every surface or every part of every building can be destroyed, and I don't think the game done a good enough a job to tell me which ones could and could not, because there was a lot of times where I was thinking, oh, this would be cool, I'll go this way. No, you can't go that way. That wall is indestructible for some reason. I do think that I would probably benefit from a bit more time with the game and essentially coming to understand the language of the map design in this way when it comes to destruction. But from like the outset, I felt like it needed to go the full 9 yards, and it didn't, and that was what I was a little disappointed in. But saying that, obviously when it comes to destruction, it is probably the best looking destruction, even if it's not the most, you know, dynamic destruction, because the particle effects, the smoke, the actual like rubble falling around you is just, it looks incredible, and it adds to that sort of action chaos that Battlefield has been so good at. So I have to say, I'm really excited to play more of this game. I think it felt like classic Battlefield to me, you know, even when I was getting destroyed by, you know, like the PC players in the lobbies I was playing in or whatever, there were still so many of those like iconic sort of Battlefield moments, like jets falling down and helicopters crashing, or even just the whip crack of bullets going around. The sound design is phenomenal, and I think EA has sort of pushed a little bit more for the cinematic aesthetic that the series was known for, and I think 2042 moved away from a bit. I just can't wait for like a big bombastic grounded shooter like this. We all know like Call of Duty, it's kind of lost its way a little bit these days, especially with all of the daft skins, and Battlefield has, or at least EA has said that it won't be going down that route when it comes to cosmetics. But there is so much of the game that they could still get wrong, you know, whether it's the post-launch support. We know the game's going to launch with 9 maps. How regularly can we expect new maps? What other kinds of content in terms of weapons and modes can we expect from post-launch content? They have said that all of that stuff will be coming for free. If it's a game-changing like aspect, you'll obviously have to pay for cosmetics that make no difference to the gameplay, but anything that impacts gameplay will be free post-launch. But how that post-launch support is handled, we'll yet to see. But there's other elements to be excited about beyond the multiplayer. Of course, Portal. I think this could be really cool. We didn't get to see any outside of anything of this outside of the trailers, but it looks like it's going full like GTA 5 race course design levels of crazy, and I think that could be a lot of fun, because Portal in 2042 had potential, but it didn't go the distance. So I'm excited to see how the community plays around with this. But from like a pure gameplay perspective and the tone and stuff, I think people are really gonna like this one. I genuinely do. I know it's kind of a Battlefield fan's curse to get hyped for these games and then they maybe don't turn out how you were hoping, but it really, to me, in the room at the event and speaking to the people that I spoke to, it seems like EA is very confident in this product. It seems like it's kind of throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this project. It feels like it knows it needs to get it right, and there's been a lot of work to ensure that what it does is catering to the fans and the players' needs, which is exactly what you're looking for with a sort of legacy franchise like this. So I'm very excited to play the game. It comes out on PS5 October 10th. There'll be some open betas across August. I can't remember the dates now. I'll put them here. So let me know if you're planning to check this game out down in the comments below. Have you been impressed with what you've seen so far, or are you still skeptical and holding out till you actually get your hands on the game? Let me know down below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more PlayStation video content just like this. Anyway, until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.